Hey, there's the music. That means it's time for Animal Talk. Some of the best doggone pet people on the planet helping you with your pet, one pooch at a time. It's America's Pet Show, Animal Talk. Thanks for being with us. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all those podcast things in all the podcast places. We truly appreciate you coming around. AnimalTalkRadio.com is the website, and of course, WearingFunny.com if you're looking for some gear, some pet parent gear, some funny t-shirts. They're all there. They're available for you. Appreciate our sponsor, WearingFunny.com. Great place. Go check them out. And for your pet help and information, you're in the right spot. We're going to help you out. We have years and years of animal calls and emails and interviews, and we're sharing them all with you on these Animal Talk Rewinds. Now, Animal Talk, it is for entertainment purposes only, so make sure you check with your local veterinarian, your local trainer, if you have any issues coming up, and we're here to help. Our professionals always got great ideas, too, so here we go. Having a little bit of fun. It's Animal Talk.
And our guest today is known commonly as the Dog Whisperer, which is actually the name of his show on the National Geographic Channel. It is the series The Dog Whisperer with Cesar Millan. Cesar, welcome to Animal Talk.
Thank you very much.
We're so excited to have you here. Donna is our behaviorist and dog trainer, and she has got to be your biggest fan in Michigan, if not the Midwest United States, all the way around.
Let's talk about animals.
That's
Absolutely.
Right. We're very excited to have you with us. So, Cesar, here's my question for you. My first question for you: What is it that dogs need? Because they are there bad dogs?
No.
There are two questions there. All right, are there bad dogs? And if not, what do dogs need to make them not bad?
Okay, well, let me answer the first question, right? In my own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There is no bad dogs for the simple reason that they don't rationalize. So anything they do is not premeditated, right? There is no knowledge behind instincts. It's all reaction. So there is no thinking involved in what they do. Now, the best way for a dog to stay balanced, or to accomplish balance, is by them doing what they normally do in a natural habitat. So if you study a pack of dogs in a natural habitat, what they do early in the morning is they stretch, then they walk. And where are they going? To find food and water. Then they celebrate. And that's why in my equation is exercise, discipline, then affection. My clients like to begin with affection, affection, affection. Mm-hmm. Then they walk a dog every once in a while, and they discipline a dog with frustration or anger. That's why it's going to be bad dogs, because they have a human who is not following Mother Nature. Every time we go against Mother Nature, something happens. So instability is part of what happened when we go against Mother Nature. It's not that we don't love dogs in America. It's just we're not loving them the way they want to be loved. Right. We're loving them we want to love it because it's convenience to us.
We personify it a little too much.
That's another thing that we do, that we humanize dogs. And the dog loves to be a dog, and a giraffe loves to be a giraffe, and an elephant loves to be an elephant. They don't want to become human. They have their own psychological patterns.
And that's something that's really interesting about you and the way you do. You have a pack that you live with that's nearby.
A pack that actually helps me to rehabilitate, super wealthy dogs.
Not that Cesar's out living in a doghouse or anything.
No, absolutely not. And this dog's actually had a bad past, because most of these dogs that I work with used to belong to gang members. So a lot of the cases that I work, they people pour gasoline and they light him up. The dog lost their eyes through a dog fight, the broken bones. I mean, what unstable people do with dogs. Mm-hmm. And so what I do is I go rescue them, rehabilitate them, and use them to help other dogs so they can become an example to people that it's not the breed and it's not the dog, it's the human behind them.
Yeah, the one thing that I really enjoyed about your book, Cesar's Way, not only learning so much about you did really come in and you shared so much with your readers about who Cesar is. But one of the most important things that I took away from this was the difference that you stress between training versus rehabilitating.
Yes.
And how important it is for us to rehabilitate the dog more than train the dog.
Well, as you know, people can be trained by Harvard. Doesn't mean they're balanced.
Right.
So training doesn't equal balance in the animal world. Balance is something that you accomplish by, living with Mother Nature and never work against Mother Nature. That's just how animals accomplish balance, They don't need humans to accomplish balance. They don't need humans to be aligned with the universe and Earth. They don't. They can do it on their own. We created dog training. We, the human being.
Yes.
But it's not created by Mother Nature, So it's important that if we want to help a dog to recover their own self, the rehabilitation must be done. Then you can train the dog. Training is sit down, stay calm, heel, which is something the dogs don't do in their natural habitat.
Right. Yeah, you don't see the wolf,
the
alpha wolf telling them to sit.
They do fulfill each other.
Right.
And they create a pack, and in the pack they have a pack leader and then the followers. And the pack leader set the rules, the boundaries, the limitations. So if the human plays that position and walk with his pack or walk with his dog every day, like homeless people do, right? Homeless people is a great example of leadership. And a dog doesn't see them as homeless. It sees them as a person who walks every day and leads them.
Right.
My clients can walk a Chihuahua. Homeless people walk Rottweilers, Pit Bulls, German Shepherds, Chow Chow, powerful breeds all day long, off the leash.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good example that dog psychology, people do apply it unconsciously, but we don't see it as a role model. A lot of people feel bad about seeing a dog with a homeless person. I feel great. At least they're living in the moment.
Right. Yeah, and that was the other thing I had a little note about as well, was that I definitely appreciate how you made the distinct difference between human psychology and dog psychology. One of the things that I find with my own clients is they tend to try to put human psychology into what their dog is doing. And that was the most important thing. This is why I'd recommend this book to every single client that walks through my door.
Thank you.
Because it is very important that they understand they need to learn how to communicate effectively with their dog and to use what their dog is naturally working with.
That's
and
right.
That's a very difficult thing for a lot of owners, I think.
Well, it's a society, because if you study third world country society, they understand the psychology behind chickens and pigs, and third world country people connect themselves to Mother Nature better than American people. American people can connect themselves to the intellectual world, but in third world country, you learn that a chicken is a chicken, that a dog is a dog, and you learn how to fulfill their needs because you need them. We need each other. It's a back and forth thing. Maybe we don't know how to make money, but we definitely know how to connect with Mother Nature. Mm-hmm. You follow what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Unfortunately, we practice the same psychology with women. We don't give affection enough to women.
I was going to bring that up. I loved what you had to say about your wife. It was beautiful. I love that she rehabilitated you.
From Americans. The Americans do fulfill women, or at least give a space to women to be herself. Which is one of the things that a lot of third world countries should learn about it, because dogs in America get more affection than women in third world country. My fulfillment to my wife is affection, exercise, then I can ask what I want. With my dogs, exercise, discipline, then I give affection.
Right.
Yeah, but so with my wife, I definitely begin with affection, then exercise, then I can ask what I want.
Well, see, you learned what motivated.
Exactly. So I have to learn to fulfill what creates motivation.
Right.
Right? Not to train you how to make eggs.
Right.
If I fulfill you, then I can ask you how to make the eggs.
Right.
But you won't have any problem with it.
You're absolutely right.
You follow?
Absolutely.
So, that's one bad thing that we do in third world country. We treat women like we would treat an animal. And that is not the right way of fulfilling women. But we learn, and I think it's a back and forth learning experience that we can share. We can learn from third world countries. Third world countries can learn from Americans, and so it's a back and forth. It's how a pack's supposed to work.
So is your next book going to be how to take care of your wife?
That's what everybody wants. But I'm still working. I'm still working on my rehabilitations. But the thing is, she said rules, boundaries, limitations to me.
Right.
And that's what it created. The guy that am I now, the guy who wants to fulfill my wife. I'm very happy to be married 12 years with her. It doesn't feel 12 years, because it's just a pleasure.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's like dealing with teenagers. It's boundaries, rules, and limitations.
Yeah, with kids, you have to set the rules, the boundaries, limitations. Otherwise, they don't see you as a pack leader. Girls or boys, that doesn't matter.
Right.
Our guest is Cesar Millan. His book, Cesar's Way, The Natural Everyday Guide to Understanding and Correcting Common Problems. And you have the National Geographic Channel series going, The Dog Whisperer. You're into your second season, and you've expanded to hour-long episodes happening on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. And coming up after the break, we're going to talk more to Cesar. We're going to put him on hold for just a minute, and we're going to come back with some more. We're going to talk about what people are doing, the mistakes that people make with their dogs. What errors are there? Cesar, we're going to have you think about that. Ponder that thought for just a minute. And we're gonna come back and talk about that. We're gonna help you with your pet. And our guest today, hanging out with us and giving us some great insight to what his approach to things is Cesar Millan. He hosts The Dog Whisperer. He is The Dog Whisperer on the National Geographic, airing Friday nights at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern and Pacific times. You can check out Cesar, the Dog Whisperer, on the National Geographic. He has his new book called
Cesar's Way.
Cesar's Way. And we were talking to him just about his approaches and the problems that people make with their pets. So what is typically you find the main mistake people make in their behavior and interaction with their dog that fosters these problems?
Well, they say it's the dog's fault.
Mm-hmm.
And my dog fault. My dog has a problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a big mistake because it's not the dog's fault. But if it's human nature to blame somebody else. It's the easiest way to get out of it, especially with somebody who doesn't talk.
Yeah.
Who can't say, hey, you don't walk me every day. You don't set rules, boundaries, limitations. Now you want me to listen to you?
Right.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we were
Throw
just
birthday parties for me, but that doesn't mean anything to me.
we were just watching an episode of The Dog Whisperer where you were dealing with Josie trying to get her onto the hardwood floor, and,
Right.
and the people were saying, well, she just won't go on the hardwood floor. And within 3 tries, Josie was on the lead with you, just coming on and off the floor. And you weren't tugging her on
Right.
after the 3rd time.
Right.
Well, it was a gentle guidance.
The first one, she needed a little coaxing, but
Sure.
after that, it wasn't a taut leash, and she was just following along.
If you noticed, he was pinching the leash in his fingers.
Mhm.
I love picking up little things like that.
That's right. It's when the mind shut down, you have to really, in a way, like force the mind to go in. Otherwise, the mind would never go through it. We're talking about a mind that is in a panic state.
Mhm.
So it's no different from the Great Dane that I work with. I mean, you really have to help them physically in the beginning so the brain start moving forward. But in my mind, it's not I'm not having a conversation with a dog. I'm creating this possibility while I'm doing it. So the dog senses that this is what I want.
Right.
I'm not asking him, would you please do it? Why you don't like to walk on the shiny floors? Why you don't like to... I'm not having this conversation because this only blocks what I'm trying to create.
Right.
And the owners, oh, my God, I don't know what happened to her. Oh, I feel so bad. All this is a block.
Mhm.
You're not helping the dog, and you're not going to help humans if you feel sorry about them.
Right.
So sometimes, you have to, in a way, force or push people to do an activity that they're not going to get hurt. So
Mhm.
this is when experience comes in, because sometimes you need to use physical touch and sometimes you need to use psychological touch, but you have to be precise with it so the dog knows that you know what you're doing. Because 1 second too late, you ruin the mind.
Yes.
And you're in California, and you have the Dog Psychology Center
Mhm.
out there. What goes on at the Dog Psychology Center? Do you have like little puppy couches, and they sit there? And what do you got going on?
No, it's actually, the center has a swimming pool. We have an obstacle area. We have a massage area. We have our own dog park. So it's just this facility that is created for rehabilitating dogs.
Well, I was going to say, I'm
Especially
looking for
dogs that
something
are
for
going to
spring
be
break.
put
It
on the
sounds kind of nice.
Say what?
I said I was looking for something for spring break. It sounds kind of nice.
Oh, it is nice. In the beginning, I thought, who's going to come to South Central Los Angeles? Now I'm doing a TV show from there.
Yep.
Because nobody wants to, in the beginning, nobody want to come to South Central Los
Right.
Angeles. Every time you hear South Central, is you hear police around.
Right.
But that's what the Dog Psychology Center is. But
So-
I utilize the environment because I deal with a lot of dogs. They are afraid of noise.
Mm-hmm.
And so where am I is an industrial zone full of trucks, full of big semis. And I love to rollerblade with the pack. So I get to rehabilitate dogs while I get to drain their energy as well. So, it's a win-win situation.
Mhm.
It's a wonderful environment. And that's one thing that I learned from my grandfather. You use what you have. You work with what you have.
So once you've taken these dogs into is that what you do sometimes in extreme cases or any case? You take the dogs in and work with them
Mild cases,
for the owners?
I think in mild cases, other professionals can do it. I take the extreme cases because these cases are going to be put down to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will give up on them and say, no, this case is way too far gone. There's no way you can do anything. I tried all the clicker training, I tried all the dog food, and I tried all that stuff, and it's not working. So those are the cases that I take. To help a population of dogs to see that it's not the dog, and that we don't need to kill them, that we can create other sources for them to stay alive. I believe in karma, so if you kill somebody for no reason at all, it's going to come right back to you.
Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Survival is one thing, but just to
Right.
kill them for no reason,
Right.
it's coming back to you.
Yep.
we already harmed the world enough.
Yeah.
So if I can help, to keep some guys alive, I'm going to do it.
All right, so Cesar, in your bio, they drop a bunch of celebrity names that you've been helping out. Anybody? You got any good celebrity pet dirt for us?
No.
No. Oh,
No, see, that's how he keeps his job.
Good.
There you go.
He is good. Me, I'd be blabbing all over.
Oh, see, that's why you don't talk to him.
Nicolas Cage's dog.
Yeah. No, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It was a very. I mean, I'm probably going to read this 2 or 3 more times.
Oh, thank you.
Because it's got so much information. It's entertaining. That's the other thing. I mean, this is almost like reading this book was almost like sitting down and having a conversation with you.
Thank you.
And that to me is much better, especially when you're trying to teach something this important. When you're trying to show people who may not necessarily understand animals or animal behavior, and you're giving them a very no-nonsense approach to it. It's very straightforward, and I found that to be very wonderful. And probably one of my favorite things in here, actually the whole book is my favorite, but I loved what you had to say about the proper way to greet a dog.
Sure.
What is the proper way to greet a dog?
No touch, no talk, no eye contact.
Really?
Yeah.
Then
It's
how are you really
guy
greeting?
in high school? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They ignore everybody, but everybody follows.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but if you go hi, few people will follow.
Oh.
And in the dog world, if you act that way, more likely for them to get in a jumpy state or excited.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are a source of excitement, that means that you are not a pack leader.
Right, and that's one of the things, I'm sure you've seen this a million times, where the people have become the playmate rather than the leader.
Right, they become the follower, which the dog is the leader, and they just play with them. When they get tired, the dog do whatever he wants.
Right.
You know what I mean? Playmate means they're submissive to each other. But in the cases, most of the cases, the dog is always the dominant one, and the human is the follower. Yeah.
And our
So
guest,
you're the leader, you're the follower. They don't see you as name or profession or how much money you make or how famous you are.
Right.
all right, Cesar, thanks so much. Our guest is Cesar Millan. The book is called Cesar's Way, the Natural Everyday Guide to Understanding and Correcting Common Dog Problems. And how do people get a hold of the book, Cesar?
Well, it's in Barnes & Nobles and it's in the Amazons, it's in Walmart. It's everywhere right now. So it's doing really good. It's #1 in Amazons right now.
Oh, excellent.
So it just came out like 2 days ago, so it's doing really good.
Yes.
Excellent.
Doing really good.
Congratulations on the book and the show, of course, National Geographic Channel. The Dog Whisperer airs Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, and that's the new series just kicked off in January. And delightful.
Website. And your website.
Yeah.
DogPsychologyCenter.com.
DogPsychologyCenter.com. And had a lot of fun talking to Cesar Millan, but we're not done. Because we're going. We've had caller polls before. We've talked to Donna. You remember these? We've talked to people and asked them, what do dogs and cats, do pets, animals have souls?
Right.
And do they go to heaven? And what about the afterlife? What kind of afterlife do we have? And do dogs and pets have? We've had this as our.
That's always been a question, especially for the younger children. My niece and nephew have always asked me. Especially, I had my niece last night, and she noticed that I was missing one of my cats.
As you're flushing Nemo down the.
Well, no. I lost my one baby kitty. And my niece remembered her and asked where she went, and I told her kitty heaven.
Right.
So then she had a million questions about that.
How about kitty heaven?
Right.
Well, we're gonna get a little deeper into that today, and we're gonna talk to Lynda Austin, whose latest project, Heavenly Dogs. Lynda, welcome to Animal Talk.
Thank you very much.
Lynda, what happens to pets? What is the deal, and what is Heavenly Dogs all about?
Well, it's actually Heavenly Paws, Paws. A beloved dog is reborn. It's basically a collection of memories and stories of my dogs and the important role that they played throughout my life. Mm-hmm. But probably the focus of the book is on my dog Maxwell, who reincarnated. And he reincarnated in 2003, and I was not looking for him or expecting him to come back. I did fully believe that he was in the afterlife with my loved ones. I had a significant amount of loss within a short time frame, and I started reading books on grief and loss and just searching for answers.
Mm-hmm.
And I've read James Van Prague's books. He's an excellent medium, and became very comfortable with the idea of reincarnation.
Okay, so very, very briefly, the theory behind reincarnation. Does everybody come back each and every time, or is it now and again?
I believe that we've all lived multiple lives.
Mm-hmm. Don't we ever get a break?
We do get a break. When we do get a break.
Lynda, don't tell me I have to keep doing this over and over again. That is not a happy thought.
I'm hoping this is my last lesson. But I believe life is Earth is a classroom, and we come back here and we chart our course, chart our lessons.
So Maxwell got held back.
Well, no. I mean, in a dog's case, I believe they come back to teach us.
I'm just having a little fun with it. But okay, so the people can and souls can have a multiple run at it, and you believe through searching through, you've kind of you found some information, and then you really feel, you said your dog Maxwell, you feel as though he came back.
Yes, I do. I do.
How do you and you document this and the memories and the experiences in your book Heavenly Paws. How'd you know? I mean, how do you know?
Okay, the way I found out, after I had lost several loved ones, including my dogs, I had by the time my two dogs died within 5 weeks of each other, I had developed a long and trusted relationship with a very good psychic medium, and she had really proved to me that what she was talking about was accurate. She was giving me information of things my dogs were doing in the afterlife that she could not have possibly concocted. For example, my little dog Melody had adopted an old red wool glove of mine when she was 6 months old.
Oh.
And when I called the medium, just absolutely distraught, and asked her if she could tell me anything, she said, well, I see her bouncing over to the other side. And then she said, well, what's with the glove? She just threw a glove up in the air.
Aww.
And, I mean, that just proved to me that she was seeing my dog on the other side with my loved ones.
Right.
And so we just continued to talk periodically every once in a while, and she just stunned me one day when she said, Maxwell's getting ready to come back.
Oh, hey.
And that's how it all started. And by the time she told me that, I had gotten a new puppy from a breeder. And so I knew if he was coming back, that naturally that would be where he was going to come back.
Oh, wow.
And so I contacted the breeder and asked her if she was expecting puppies and the mother's names and the dates they were going to whelp. And she gave me, she was expecting 4 litters. She gave me the dates. And so I called my psychic medium back, and she told me which mother it would be and which date. And I was very concerned about how will I know him? What if I take the wrong puppy?
Right, yeah.
I'll tell you what I did. I went to see him at 6 days old, and I took one of his old toys with me. It was a little stuffed fleece lamb with his old scent on it. And as you know, puppies can't see or walk when they're that young. And so I just put the toy in front of his nose, the dog that I thought was him. Right. And he just crawled following it. And then I leaned it on the side of the whelping box, and he cuddled up next to it. And I just knew.
Oh. So how long have you had, what's the name of the new pup?
His name is Maxwell.
Okay.
I'm calling him Maxwell. And he will be 3 years old June 2nd.
Okay. So does he have some of the same character traits? I mean, is his personality vehemently different, or is it?
His personality is basically the same. He was always extremely devoted to me. He's even more devoted to me this time.
Oh.
It's almost like I took care of him and his last wife. He was diagnosed with Cushing's disease at 3.5 years old, and he required a lot of care over the years.
Right.
And it's almost like he came back this time, though, to take care of me.
Oh.
And so that has changed. But and he will not take a step without me. You know, and when we had the dog trainer, he would not walk with her. We had to all squeeze out the door together. And
That's cute. Well, Lynda, it's the book is called Heavenly Paws.
Yes.
And it's the account of your memories of Maxwell and reconnecting with him.
Yes, it is.
And is that pretty much the text of the book, or is there more stories in there?
Well, there are other stories in there about all of the dogs I've owned over the years, and I think that it just portrays responsibility and commitment. That you may have a sick dog, you may have a dog that requires a lot of attention, but when you get one, you're committed to it. And I'm hoping the book will make people take that seriously.
How do people find the book, Lynda?
It is online. You can get it through Barnes & Noble, Borders, Target.com.
Excellent. Lynda Austin, Heavenly Paws. Lynda, thanks so much for taking some time out of your morning to talk to us.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, and give Maxwell a hug. All right. We'll be right back with more Animal Talk.
Hey, it's Jamie. I got to hop on in here and remind you about our sponsor, WearingFunny.com. WearingFunny.com for all your pet parent T-shirt needs. Head on over WearingFunny.com and check out the vast array of amazing, hilarious T-shirts. Thoughtful, cuddly, and cute for you and your kitties and your puppies. And hey, we take requests. If you have a critter that we don't have represented, let us know. We'll get you connected with just the perfect shirt for you and your critters, showing your love for being the best pet parent you can possibly be. WearingFunny.com. Back to the show.
And we're going to help you with your pet. Jamie, Donna, Dr. Brad, that's what we do. And Donna, we had a couple of guests on here, Lynda and her Heavenly Paws, and Cesar Millan.
My favorite person.
Big fan of that.
I really am. I really appreciate everything that he's done, and think that he's very talented at what he does. At that, I mean, it's one thing to go out and say that you can fix this, but to see Cesar in action is a whole different thing.
And it's just a couple of things that he said that a lot of the dogs that he has, because he has a pack of dogs, like 20 dogs.
Anywhere from 30 to 50, depending.
And most of those were the dogs that people are like, they have thrown up their arms and said, there's nothing we can do with this dog. It's so vicious or it's so aggressive.
Cesar has a niche.
He's astounding.
He has a niche. He works with the most difficult dogs.
He needs to come get this dog from next door.
I was thinking the same thing when I went upstairs and was making coffee. I was thinking the same thing, watching that dog, thinking, oh my gosh, I wonder if we can ship him and how much that would cost.
I have, we live just, I live just a mile from the Detroit border, and my neighbors have a pit bull, and they're young men, and I don't know how they've socialized this animal.
They haven't.
I know that in the 6 months they've been here next to me, the dog has been chained on a very short chain. I mean, no more than 5 feet, 3 feet, and he has, When
I was making the coffee, I was looking out the window watching him.
Yeah.
And he's very... It's very sad to see the dog in this state, but he doesn't have enough room to even walk away from where he sleeps to go to the bathroom.
Oh, I know.
So he was literally laying in his own mess.
Oh, yeah.
When he got up and walked around and kind of did a little circle and then stretched again, he was covered in his own mess because he doesn't have anywhere.
And I actually got animal control on the phone. We've been playing phone tag, and I've been apprising them of the situation, and hopefully, because I work, I have a job, so I don't know if animal control is out, and they work 9 to 5, so it's hard to get a hold of them. But I was able to talk to Animal Control, actually talk to him this week, and he was aware of the situation from my calls, and And he has been talking to people, but there's steps that you got to take, and he's going through the steps that they have to take.
That's the one thing I remember dealing with this with a. It was a.
If it wasn't a vicious dog, 'cause
Doberman.
this dog is vicious. You'll lose an arm if you get near this thing.
Yes.
And if it wasn't a vicious dog, if it was just a dog in a bad situation, we'd be over the fence with bolt cutters in a second, taking that dog
away. Well, the first time you told me about the dog, I that was my intention, was to go out there and steal the dog.
But
get him out of there.
It is. I mean, we would be in peril of our safety.
I would need a rabies pole to get this dog out.
You would. And then what do you do with it?
Yeah.
So he's going through the steps you have to go through, but I'm good. And the food bowls they have out there for the dog, they're upside down, and there's a bag of food that is empty and just laying over on the side. But he came out to feed him. It was last time I saw him feed him was Thursday evening, Wednesday or Thursday. And I was just pouring a cup of coffee in my kitchen. I was looking out the window, and he came into the backyard with a bag from a fast food hamburger place, and he dumped the French fries onto the ground.
How did the dog respond to him?
And
I was wondering.
The tail wagging, thrilled, happy to see the owners.
Really?
Thrilled.
Okay.
Thrilled, wagging the butt, wagging the butt,
the whole,
shaking,
the whole back
thrilled.
End. Okay.
Because he probably hasn't eaten in 2 days, and then it literally throws a Happy Meal on the ground for the dog. I'm like, oh my God, and I had just talked to the dog catcher the day before, so I'm gonna call him again and let him know that's if you go out there,
if this were a dog in the wild,
right?
A dog in the wild does not eat every day.
Yeah.
When they go out and they have to hunt, they'll, if you were looking at a pack of wolves, they'll bring down an elk, a caribou, depending on where they're at, a deer, and the whole pack will eat the entire thing because they don't know when that next meal is coming.
Right.
For a dog in the wild, that's one thing. But to have a dog chained in your backyard eating every third or fourth day and eating a Happy Meal at that.
Oh, I know.
It's just...
He threw down a bunch of French fries. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
They have no nutritional value.
And
Not even for humans.
And he threw a burger. Well, he threw a burger down, too.
Is that really?
No,
I'm not going
I know. No, it's not. But, I mean, at least he was giving him something. But I'm like, oh, man.
But for a dog that size, that is not enough food either.
My neighbor makes me nervous, too. Because, I mean, but then not the dog issue. I mean, but in the 6 months that they've been here, the police have been called at least 5 times.
Oh, my gosh.
One day he jumped on my front porch and said, "Can you call 911 for me? The kids are out of control." And I'm like, "Okay, great, thanks. Yeah, already did." And I when I called the cop shop, with the school, the police liaison, the high school, they rotate through, and the guy who was the police liaison when I was at the school in this district was at the desk, and I'm like, "Hey, Mason, what's up?" He's like, "Hey." I go, "You know what's going on?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "We're having some trouble with those folks." So, so the police are apprised of the situation. It's not just me being a mean neighbor or having having a predisposition towards my neighbor or whatever.
I don't think you're being mean. I think you're seeing the situation for what it really is.
It's not just me. The cops were well apprised of the situation.
And that's a good thing. At least you've got backup.
I'm like,
there.
All right, not just me, but what do you do? And so they make me nervous. I'm not going to go, "Hey, go feed your dog," and they're like, "Hey," and then I have broken windows. I'm not going there. So I just hope the dog catcher will do something soon. Anyway, if you got a neighbor that's bugging you, an issue, maybe we can help because we're doing so well with my situation. And just help you out with your critters. You can always hear us again and again and again and again. You can download it to your MP3 player at iRadioNow.com if you want to save it forever.
You know what we didn't do?
And you can save that Cesar Millan interview because he's fantastic. What?
We didn't do the bad animal joke.
Oh, my gosh. I have that upstairs. Do you remember it offhand? Do you remember it off the top of your head?
No.
Oh, okay. It's up. I didn't.
No.
It's upstairs.
My nephew has given me 2 now.
Yeah.
And I don't remember exactly how it goes. So, but it just occurred to me there was no bad animal joke this week because we got right to work.
I know. Well, yeah. We had to get to Cesar.
That's right.
Standing by. Okay. Well, what Donna wants, Donna gets.
Who's bad?
Donna, what did the cow say when she saw her calf's messy room?
What?
What? Were you raised in a barn?
Who's bad?
Bad animal joke of the week. Feel free to submit your jokes, Jamie at animaltalkradio.com. Jamie at animaltalkradio.com, and we'll read that on the air and regale America with your bad animal joke.
Yes.
And coming up next week, I will have your nephew's printed off. It's upstairs. It's still in my email.
Well, see, that was the reason that you made me think of that is because you said downloading our show to MP3, and that's
right.
My nephew has that, and he has a little MP3 player, and it just occurred to me that we didn't read his joke that he had sent in. Well, I sent in for him.
Once we do that, he can go to iradionow.com and download the show, and he can have it forever. See, and we'll use his name and everything, and he'll be able to take
prove it to all of his...
He'll take it to his school on his MP3
right.
player and play it for all his friends and say,
That's
see,
right.
I'm funny nationally. Like, sorry, kid.
And my aunt knows Cesar Millan.
Yeah. No, you're not. Neither are we.
That's right.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks to Lynda Austin from Heavenly Paws, talking about our dog's reincarnation, visiting us. And, of course, a big thanks to Cesar Millan, Dog Whisperer, National Geographic Channel, for talking to us about his new book, Caesar's Way. And thank you for tuning in this week to Animal Talk. Have an exotic week.
And kiss your wild thing for me.
Bye-bye, boys. Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
If it take a hair.
Bye-bye.